Hey everyone, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for visiting. And also happy July and happy July Sweet Miss Daisy Designs release day. I'm so excited to be bringing these products to you and really excited to be able to share my samples with you too and a couple of new fun things that are happening. So first, let me remind you, please check the link down below for links to these design team members who are participating in this release. They have some fabulous samples to share with you and I want you to see their inspiration as well. So be sure to check out their links. There will be inspiration from Jeanne, from Angela, and from Giovana. And then also a special guest this month, we have Nancy the Handi Scandi. She is joining us as well. So I will put links to all of their social media down below. So please be sure to check them out and give them some love and see the amazing samples that they've created with this month's release. So for this month, we have a couple exciting things happening in addition to just a normal fun release. So the theme of the release is Christmas in July. So I have some fun paper collections to launch with you. And then I have also 4 stamp sets that are launching as well. So let's first take a look at the paper collections. Some of them were collections that I released with Impression Obsession, but I was excited to be able to bring them back to SweetMissDaisy Designs because they are some of my absolute favorites. So first up we have Gingerbread. And this was one that I did release with Impression Obsession, but as I mentioned, I was so excited to be able to bring it back to SweetMissDaisy Designs. So it is a fun collection, which is, of course, gingerbread themed. We've got the fun pink swirls, like the gingerbread cheeks. And the back side of that one is actually the gingers. And then we have some stars. And the back side of it is some yellow gingham. Then we have this really pretty blue print and some hearts with buttons on gingham. And then we have kind of a swirly frosting or a squiggle frosting design. And then on the back side of that one are the ginger's buttons. And then we have some yellow stars, and the back side of it is probably my favorite print in the collection, the gingerbread rose. So that is the gingerbread series. And I have several samples that I made using these stamps in my release, using some of the paper in this collection as well. So one of my favorites this month for sure. So that is Gingerbread. And then another collection that I'm bringing back from the old Impression Obsession launches is Let It Snowman. And this was one of my absolute favorites that I've ever designed. So of course I had to bring it back to Sweet Miss Daisy. So we have the snowflake print, and the black gingham, this fun snowflake print with the orange color, and this makes great snowman noses. Then we have the Let It Snow print, and in the background there are snowflakes. This print is 3 hearts, and in the middle of the hearts are snowflakes. And then on the back side of this print is the tree print. And then we have some green and white stripes, and there's some snowflakes in the background here. And then the back side of this particular sheet is, this fun snowman face. Very cute repeating pattern. And then we have the Joy hexagons with those beautiful red hearts in the middle, and of course the blue buttons. On the back side of this print is a beautiful red gingham. And then we have a pretty orange stripe that has snowflakes in the background, and the back of it is my favorite design, I think. These fun snowman faces, and the background of this is a beautiful red, and there's snowflakes in the design as well. So that is the Let It Snowman collection, and as I mentioned, it's just one of my absolute favorites, so I was happy to be able to bring it back to Sweet Miss Daisy. So also, if you picked up these collections with Impression Obsession, I do use a different manufacturer than they used, and so the printing colors may just be slightly different, but the designs are the same. So I just wanted to make note of that. And then we have Distressed Snowflake, and this was also one of my previously released Impression Obsession collections, but wanted to bring it back to Sweet Miss Daisy. And so it is the same print, but just in a different color, of course. So all these beautiful, beautiful colors. all with the same design. And then here are the back sides. I love the blues. And of course, some of mine are missing because I've been using them to make samples, but all these beautiful colors are included in the collection. So that again is Distressed Snowflake. So really, really fun. And then finally, the last paper collection for the month is new, and it's exclusive to SweetMissDaisy Designs, and it is called Holiday Mini Gingham. And so of course, if you are familiar with all my other mini gingham collections, you know the size of the gingham, but these are just in fun holiday colors. So we have some beautiful reds, some really nice golds and greens, and then we have some pretty blues, and then some fun browns here as well. So of course, here are the beautiful, beautiful pages in the collection. And then we have these dark, dark reds, and we have the mid-tone red, and then we have kind of a Santa suit red, a beautiful gold, and a lighter gold, and then it moves into the greens, of course. So it's a really, really pretty collection, and that one is called Holiday Mini Gingham. And again, this one is exclusive to SweetMissDaisy Designs, so this one is brand spanking new. Then, of course, we have 4 stamp sets that are being released. First, a couple things that are really exciting. I have decided to do a snowman of the month through the rest of the year and into probably January and maybe even February. So each month there will be a different snowman set being launched. And I'm excited about that because snowmen are probably my favorite thing to draw, favorite thing to paint, favorite thing to use to make cards. So there will be a fun snowman of the month every month for the rest of the year into January and possibly February. So stay tuned each month for the new snowman set. And then also I'm super excited to be partnering with Serendipity Stamps, who is owned by Mitra, who owned Impression Obsession. And what I am doing is working with Mitra to bring back some of my absolute favorite Serendipity stamp images and bringing them to my SweetMissDaisy Designs audience. So first up for the release this month, we have the first partnership with Serendipity Stamps, and I'm bringing back Star Snow Angel as the snowman of the month. This has always been one of my favorite snowman stamps, and so I'm really thrilled to be able to work with Mitra and bring back this as one of my favorite images. So I know this image is probably favorited by a lot of you, and you've not been able to get your hands on it, and so now I hope you are able to. So in addition to the Star Snow Angel image, I did illustrate in this set the music notes that are in here. And I also illustrated the sentiment, "May goodness and light shine upon you," and it has the fun little doohickeys that I like adding to some of my sentiments. And then also "Shine like the stars" and "I believe in you" are the other 2 sentiments in this set. So you'll notice too that the insert is blue instead of my typical green, and that color will indicate that it is a partnership with Serendipity Stamps. And then it also notes it on the insert down at the bottom where the name is, and then also on the back it says that I'm partnered with Serendipity Stamps to bring this image to you. So really, really fun. I'm excited to be able to have this partnership with Mitra and with Serendipity Stamps to bring you some of my absolute favorite snowman images, or not just snowman images, but images in general. So stay tuned for more. And then also stay tuned each month for snowman of the month. So let me show you just a couple of samples using this particular set. First up is this card, and this snowman was stamped on watercolor paper and painted with watercolor paints, and some of them are metallic, so the star, for example, has a really nice shine to it. And I added some of my favorite cotton lace here to the outside edge and used paper from the gingerbread collection to make this card. So the inside, "May goodness and light shine upon you," and then I add a little fishtail banner. And then the back of my cards, I didn't stamp the back on them with my handmade stamp by yet, but I did add paper to all of the back of them, so the cards are almost finished. And then the second card I made using the Star Snow Angel is this one. And this card is again stamped on watercolor paper and painted. And then I used the music notes in the set to add just a little bit of interest here, and also on the pattern paper. And this pattern paper piece is from the gingerbread line as well. This is the little squiggled frosting image. So I love that card. I believe in you is the sentiment that I used. And of course, all my cards get a real light spritz of glitter, so they're pretty sparkly. May the goodness and light shine upon you. And then, of course, I use some of the music down here at the bottom, and the back has the extra paper. So those are the 2 samples I made using this set. Be sure to check out the designers, because I know they've made some really cute cards, and Nancy, specifically the Handi Scandi, for the hashtag For the Love of Snowmen. She's going to be featuring this snowman as well for the month. And so check out her links as well. You'll want to see the beautiful cards that everybody is making. So those are the 2 cards that I made using Star Snow Angel. And then next up, and the last 3 sets that I have to share with you are exclusive to SweetMissDaisy Designs. They were illustrated by me. So I'm going to start here with the Angel Wishes set. And I think she's adorable. She is holding a ginger, and she has little extra stars coming out of her pocket. And she has a star halo or garland on her hair. And she's got beautiful wings, a little heart stitch here in her wing, and she's got some patches and a heart stitch here on her apron as well. And then the other stamps in the set, there's some hearts. There is this fun star gingerbread garland. And if you want to extend the garland, you can stamp it over and over again. And the end of the star here matches up nicely with the end of the gingerbread for a nice repeating pattern. And then the sentiments in this set are angel wishes and gingerbread hugs. And then we have a fun to and from here with some little hearts. And then we have sweet holiday wishes. And then this larger sentiment, which is so cute on the inside of cards. It says, may the joy of gingerbread bring a smile to your face and comfort to your soul this Christmas. So that is Angel Wishes. And again, that is a SweetMissDaisy Designs exclusive, illustrated by me. And so let me show you the couple of samples that I have. So first up, I have an image that I painted that I didn't get made into a card yet, but I'll share that one with you first. So here she is painted up in some pastel pink and purples. I think she looks real cute. And the stars have metallic watercolor painted on them as well. So that is her. And then I have this sweet card where I used Angel Wishes and Gingerbread Hugs for the sentiment. She is stamped on watercolor paper and painted with watercolors. And then I did add extra details to her cheeks and this ginger and to the hearts here with some colored pencil. I used metallic watercolor paints on the stars to give them some shine, and these stars too. And then I also used it to add to all her buttons. So all the buttons on her dress and her shoes make it look like they're metallic. I think that's a fun touch. The paper I used in the background is from the gingerbread collection. And the star you can see matches really well with the stars in the image. And then this blue piece of paper here is from the Distressed Snowflake collection. But I think she's just cute as can be. And on the inside, I stamped the large sentiment from the set, May the joy of gingerbread. And you can see it has the cute little doohickeys on the ends. So may the joy of gingerbread bring a smile to your face and comfort to your soul this Christmas. And I really love that sentiment. And then I added the little paper on the back. So there's that card. And then the second card that I have using Angel Wishes is this one. I stamped this image on alcohol marker friendly paper and colored it with alcohol markers and added some details with colored pencil as well. And then of course, all my cards get a good spritz of glitter, so she's sparkly. And then on the sentiment on this one, I just stamped it along the side, Sweet Holiday Wishes. And then the paper I used in the background, again, is from the Gingerbread collection. So you can see I really love that collection. I've used it a whole bunch. In fact, on 4 samples now. And then I added, of course, the cotton lace. So, and then May the Joy of Gingerbread be stamped on the inside. And then I stamped the garland down here at the bottom and colored it with colored pencil. And then on the back, I just have the extra piece of paper. So that is that fun card. So that is Angel Wishes. And again, this is a SweetMissDaisy Designs exclusive. And next up is, I love Santas. I love drawing Santas. I love making cards with Santas. I love painting Santas almost as much as snowmen, I think. But this one is called Hope for All, and I know a lot of us love a good primitive country Santa, and so I was excited to bring this fellow to you. He is holding a great big star wand, and he's holding a gingerbread. He has little candy canes in his pocket, and he's got one little extra star coming out of his pocket as well. He has a really long coat on, and then he has a long cap on as well. And at the end of his cap, he has a jingle bell, and he has some holly and berries tucked in the rim of his hat here. So I think he's super handsome. And then the other stamps in this set, this one is a North Pole Express, kind of like a postage cancellation stamp. And then this one down here is a holly and berry bouquet. There's some snowflakes. Then there's 3 sentiments in the set. Now this first one here is not really meant to be a sentiment, but more like to be used to add interest to your Santa coat or to your background. And it reads, "A jolly old elf named Saint Nick brings joy and wonder to children around the world, spreading a message of peace, love, and hope for all." So keep in mind, it's not really meant to be used as a sentiment that you would read, but more just to add interest to the background. And then the 2 sentiments in here that are meant to be read are "Have a holly jolly Christmas" and "The true meaning of Christmas, peace, love, and hope for all." So that is that set, and it's called Hope for All. And I love this Santa. So let me show you the samples that I made using him. So the first one I painted in more traditional Santa colors. And of course I added metallic paint to the star wand and to the hat bell and to the star that's down here on his pocket. Santa is wearing green gloves. For some reason, I think Santa's gloves are always green. So most of the time when I paint a Santa, his gloves will be green. I don't know why. I used the North Pole Express cancellation stamp up here, and then I used it again down here so you can see how fun it is to use it in 2 locations, and it still looks very different. And then of course I used some pattern paper in the background, again from the gingerbread collection. And then the last thing I added here was this fun little loop for the lace ribbon, and a fun button from my friend Mary. And what I've been doing is pulling out the buttons that have already threads in them, and I've been using those this month for my samples. So Mary, thank you so much for the fun buttons. So there's that card. On the inside, I stamped "Have a Holly Jolly Christmas" and the little snowflakes. And then on the back, I just added the leftover piece of pattern paper. So there's the first Hope for All card. I just love his sweet face. And then I also made this one and used non-traditional colors for Santa and painted him in a beautiful yellow ochre coat. And you can see I added the small Saint Nick sentiment here in the background just for some added detail. So see, it's not really meant to be read, but just more of some visual interest. I painted the star and the star here with some metallic watercolors so they have a nice sparkle. And then I finally added this cute star here that was actually in one of the packages that I just opened up. And this star, I believe, was from Nadia. So thank you for that. It's perfect for my little card. This background paper is the Distressed Snowflake collection, and this is the sage green color that's in that collection, and I think it just works really nicely with Santa and his non-traditional coat. So, and I also added the North Pole Express stamp down here, and I used gray ink instead of black. I used gray ink for these background interest stamps as well, so it's not quite so bright. The bell on his hat I actually painted with silver watercolor paint, so it has a really nice metallic shine. And then on the inside of this one, I stamped the true meaning of Christmas, peace, love, and hope for all. And then on the back, I just added the extra paper. And all of this is actually included in the paper collection. There was no additional stamping or anything done on this. So this is actually part of the paper. So I love that. And then I have one final product releasing this month. It's another stamp set, and it's another SweetMissDaisy Designs exclusive, illustrated by me, and it is called Twinkling Lights Santa. And I love him so much. This is the cute little guy that's holding a great big strand of twinkle lights, And up here at the top is a sentiment that says, with the glow of twinkling lights, may this holiday season fill you with joy. There is a garland of twinkle lights, and you can stamp them end to end to carry out the garland longer. There's the sentiment, shine brightly, and then there's another one that says, caught up in the spirit of Christmas. There's a couple snowflakes. Here's one up here that's a little bit bigger than the one down here. And then there's another sentiment down here that says, ho, ho, hello. And then finally in this set, there are some twinkles. So you can use these small twinkles for the garland lights, and you can use this larger twinkle down here for the lights that Santa is holding. Or if you choose, you can also use these smaller twinkles for the lights that Santa is holding. So they both work well. But these three smaller ones are meant to use with these small lights here. And they're all the same. Since I had a little bit of extra room, I just decided to give you more than one. So that is that. And I just love this set. I love his boots. I love the lights. I love his sweet little face. So let me go ahead and show you the samples I made using Twinkling Lights Santa. I'll start with this one here in his traditional red coat and hat. Oh, I just love his boots and his sweet, sweet little face. So I used the ho, ho, hello sentiment. I added an eyelet here and a bulb pin and then a fun snowflake charm just for something a little different. And then of course I used some pattern paper, and this particular piece is from the the holiday mini gingham collection. But I just love the bright colors and the cheerfulness, and I think his little face is so cute. On the inside I said, with the glow of twinkling lights, may this holiday season fill you with joy, and I stamped the garland there one time. If you wanted, you could stamp it again and again, and it would continue nicely and create a full line of lights. And then on the back I used the extra paper. So that's my first Twinkling Lights Santa card. And then I have one more Santa card, and it's this one here in non-traditional colors using greens. And I used the sentiment, caught up in the spirit of Christmas, and some cotton lace. And then the paper in the background here is from the Distressed Snowflake line. I thought it went really well with Santa's green coat. So, and you can see I added the little sparkles here, the twinkles to all the lights using metallic paint and black black ink. I used metallic paint on his belt buckle and the buttons on his boots. So I think he is so cute. And on the inside of this card, I used the same sentiment. And then on the back, I used the extra piece of paper. So that is my second Twinkling Lights Santa card. And I think he is so cute. And then I have a few more samples to share with you that use just a pattern paper collection. So let's take a look at those. So no stamping, but here is a card I made using the Let It Snowman collection, and I used some hexagon dies to die cut all of these shapes and then put them together kind of in a quilted pattern. And then I also made this particular card using the Let It Snowman and some hexagon dies. And the hexagon dies that I used were part of my Impression Obsession launch. So they're no longer available, but you might either have those in your collection or you might have some other hexagons that you could use. And then I also made this card using the gingerbread collection and various different hexagon dies. So just cutting out various pieces of the pattern paper and then arranging them on the front of the card and adding some cotton lace. And then I also made this one very similar to the first snowman card, but this one uses the gingerbread collection and various different pattern papers from that gingerbread line with hexagon dies. So wanted to share those with you too, just for some extra inspiration. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please check out the links to the design team members down below, and also Nancy the Handi Scandi, and see what she has to share with you this month. Also, please use the hashtag For the Love of Snowman to share all your snowman inspiration projects. I'm looking forward to being able to share those with you month after month as Sweet Miss Daisy launches the Snowman of the Month series. And also partnering with Serendipity Stamps and Mitra is also really, really exciting to me. So lots of stuff happening this month. Thank you so much for joining me in the fun of launching Sweet Miss Daisy Designs for July. And I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.